Welcome back to the USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth, Michigan, as we are live for the Powerhockey Cup. It's day 2 and game 3 as we have the Ottawa Capitals lined up to face the Philadelphia PowerPlay. I'm Brett Johnson, joined alongside by Mike York. Patrick Lilia is running camera. We're giving his vocal cords a break from tonight's game. He's got 2 more to call, so I'm kind of a fill-in guy. Glad to be with you. This should be an interesting game on paper, Mike. Philadelphia comes in as a heavy favorite in this game, but as we've seen, Ottawa works hard. They're going to give it their best, but it's going to be a tall task. I think the goals for Ottawa here is not necessarily going to be what shows up on the scoreboard. It's going to be more the little things that they could take away from in tonight's game.
Definitely the little things here for Ottawa. I'm surprised they are going to start out with their big 3 and in the boys, as we can't. We have a little play here that we're going to restart anyway. But yeah, Ottawa is going to look to do some little things. Hopefully maybe try to get some passing in. See if they can at least try to get a goal here on D'Amico. D'Amico's a very solid goaltender. And looking for Talia McBride. We had an interview that we might play later. How she's trained to get this far. She's a solid goaltender, and she's going to probably see a lot of shots early in this game.
As we are underway, Philadelphia has possession. There is Jake Saxton, had a big game against Toronto last night as they broke open a close game and were able to knock off the Toronto Rock by a score of 7-4. As Philly is really in the driver's seat for the #1 seed, as the other undefeated team, Michigan, coming into today, lost. And there's a quick shot as Ottawa, boy, we were kind of talking about being huge underdogs. They almost just took an early lead on that shot from Austin Merkley.
Ooh, just inches away. It's a game of inches.
That would have woken up this crowd, I think, here if Ottawa had stunned everyone and taken a 1-0 lead. Again, Philly starters are on the floor, so they're certainly going to be trying hard in this one. This is Liam Miller dribbling behind the net for the Philadelphia PowerPlay. They'll leave it for Alex Pitts. Outlet pass to Jake Saxton. They are so good at running this play. Here's Saxton on his backhand. Saxton worked his way into the corner where he's met by a couple of Ottawa defenders, and Merkley among them. Out in front and then cleared away by the Ottawa defense. Pitts will regroup in his own zone.
That's what Ottawa wants to do. They want to keep, pushing it back through the blue line. They can restart, redo. It's very frustrating as an offense when you have to restart over and over and over.
Saxton will center it to Liam Miller. He swats at it with his backhand. Still loose now. Talia McBride trying to cover it up. It's loose out in front. Saxton lifts in a shot, and Pitts was a little bit late on that swing. Still scoreless about 2 minutes into this game. Glad to have you with us on Facebook. As we have Pitts. A short pass to Saxton. Saxton will now circle around back up top. Toe drag. Lifts in a shot. McBride. May have gotten a piece of that, but it was going wide anyways. Now here's Blaine Cameron from the far side corner. Cameron will stick handle behind his net. Try to evade. Now a turnover in front. Liam Miller tried to swing at it. Now it goes back behind the net by our referee, Tim. What's his last name, Mike?
I'm not sure what his last name.
We're just going to call him referee Tim then. Tim. I like that.
I'm sure somebody will correct us in the...
Centered out to Alex Pitts, and what a save by Talia McBride. That one's going to be on the highlight reel coming up. You had a chance to speak with her, Mike. We'll play that interview coming up during the first intermission. Unfortunately, I just looked. I had our video settings set wrong, so we at least have audio from the interview. You just won't be able to see her, but still better than nothing, though, right?
Definitely.
Maybe you broke the camera when we had the image of you on there. Had to throw in that little knock.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get you back.
Well,
you were running the camera. So.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Throw me under.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that last
I'm not sure
save a few minutes ago by We're just going to call him referee Tim then.
Tim.
I like that. Centering pass.
I'm sure somebody will
Philadelphia out to Alex Pitts.
Centered out to Alex Pitts, and what a save by...
He's going to have to do that a lot tonight for the Ottawa Capitals. Another shot, another save by Talia McBride as it's sent into the corner. This is Jake Saxton for Philly. Saxton will work his way to the point. He's bothered by an Ottawa defender. Saxton. Oh, he scores. What a sneaky little shot by Jake Saxton as Philadelphia goes up 1-0.
He's excellent with that little floater that he does. He's scored many goals this tournament with this floater. And then the coach is now talking to the Capitals there about that defensive coverage, maybe a blown coverage.
Yeah, let's look at it here. Yeah, Murphy was initially on Saxton, then I think the help defender a little late coming over, opened up the door for Saxton as he puts the power play up.
He scores.
Well, even with that said, that's a tall task to try to stop a shot like that from Jake Saxton. He's just such a tough player. When he sneaks in a shot like that, there's not a whole lot you can do as a goaltender. Pitts will get the assist. So Philly already up 1-0, and are they gonna? That shouldn't be a goal. I'm pretty sure the goal is off. Oh, they're not gonna call it a goal.
He does call it a goal. Looked like he was gonna wave it off.
Yeah, that's tough, but it's 2-0 Philadelphia. Jake Saxton scoring again. I thought the net had moved.
I thought it moved too.
Kind of a bang-bang play. Tough call against the Capitals, but it's 2-0 Philadelphia. Senior official Tim says it's a goal, so we'll go by his call. I don't know if he's the senior official, but I'm calling him that. Here's Jake Saxton looking for that natural hat trick, fires a shot right into the lap by Talia McBride as it's deflected into the corner. Blaine Cameron battling for it against Liam Miller. Now it's picked up by Saxton. Behind the net, who wants it? Here's Pitts, leaving it for Saxton. Saxton, back to the point. Kodrex, oh, behind the door pass. Now they go back to Saxton on the give and go, fires a shot. And a save by Talia McBride.
Very good save.
That's a fancy little play there.
It was.
Saxton with the backwards toe drag pass to Pitts, then Pitts back to Saxton. Those two guys are a pretty amazing combination. Then, of course, you have Liam Miller, who's kind of the forgotten guy, I'd say, almost on that forward line. He's an awfully talented player, too.
He is. You know, I'd say he's actually mostly the point guard there. You know, he does his job. He gets open. Probably directs those two, actually.
Yeah. I believe Miller's actually the captain of the team, too. He doesn't really show out a whole lot in the score sheet, but he's just as valuable to this power play team as are Saxton and Pitts. Blaine Cameron and Merkley trying to dig it out. As, I think we just lost our camera battery. Mike, you want to go help out and replace that camera battery?
Oh, yeah, I can go do that.
We're going to go radio style for a second here. How about that? As it's deflected out to center ice into the Philadelphia zone, they're going to have to regroup in their own zone. There's Liam Miller stick handling in his own zone. Miller will outlet it to Alex Pitts. Merkley tried to deflect it. He lost it. Now they go backdoor to Saxton, just out of his reach along the near side post. Play continues along the corner as the ball is deflected out of play. And we should have video coming back in just a moment. And there's our video. So 9:35 to go in the first period. We got our video back as it's now 2-0. Philly on top of Ottawa. We'll get that clock hammer fixed in a while. Don't worry about it, Patrick. We're good for now. Patrick's going to try to aim it. Play is still live. Here is Pitts from behind the net trying to wrap around and just out of the reach of Liam Miller, who was also actually make that Saxton moves down there.
The ultimate technician.
You know, you get one thing fixed and something else goes awry, right?
Shh, don't say that.
Saxton has it out at center. They'll leave it for Alex Pitts. Long shot, McBride deflected it. I think it was going wide anyways. Pitts will stick handle again, working his way around Merkley. Under someone's chair down there. I think it might be one of the Ottawa defenders. Now it's back to Saxton trying from an odd angle, and that one misses. Now they try to send it back out to Liam Miller in front under the chair of Blaine Cameron. They're digging for it. Play still live, still digging for the ball. Who's going to get it? Big scrum for that. Let's see if we can get a different look at it here. That'll be picked up by Merkley. Merkley will clear it out. Not out of the zone, though, so Philly won't have to reset. Here's a shot from Jake Saxton. McBride gets a piece of it, so play continues. McBride's had some nice saves, and we're going to get a penalty as Jake Saxton ran into the boards. They might call him for a penalty, or if he's lucky, maybe was it actually Blaine Hammer that ran into the boards? I thought that was Saxton.
Well, Roddy, your grandpa's in the box again.
The running joke, yeah. Blaine Cameron, even though it says Harb on the back of his jersey, we were talking with Blaine before the games this morning. He said he forgot his jersey, so they had Roddy's jersey available, so they went ahead and put that one on him so he could still play. We are going to get a Philadelphia Flyers power play. You know what I mean when I say that.
There are a lot of running gags in this game.
There are. I think Saxton actually, Edgar Barnes is going to be in the box as well. So coincidentals, I thought they had to put him in there too because I just saw loose boards and Saxton right next to it. I figured he was probably in on that infraction as well. So both Cameron and Saxton are in the box. Will remain even strength for both sides. Open up things on the floor a little bit now. Some 3-on-3 action, and I think the scorer's table wants an explanation on what those penalty calls are.
Well, I think the power play need to put one more player out.
Oh yeah, unless for some reason they gave Jake Saxton a double minor. I don't know why they would have. It's just running into the boards. But you're right, yeah, Philly is playing a man. No, both teams are actually playing a man down, so technically they're not coincidentals. Both teams are going to be a player short.
This will be kind of fun to watch, NHL style.
Yeah, so that's why they're not coincidentals. They actually called dangerous driving on Blaine Cameron and running into the boards for Jake Saxton. So two separate penalties. That's why we're actually going to be 3-on-3 rather than the full strength 4-on-4. But as you said, Mike, going to be some open floor here with essentially just two forwards for each side. Here's Pitts into the corner. It'll be Pitts and Liam Miller working for Philadelphia. It'll be Merkley and Lamberson working for the Ottawa Capitals as their two forwards. Scott Haycock also on defense for Ottawa. Ball is frozen. We're about 7:14 left in period number one. Ottawa doing a good job holding Philly to only 2 goals. This is a high-powered Philadelphia offense. Face-off is controlled by Alex Pitts. Here's Pitts with a shot, and one is deflected off after the initial save by Talia McBride, who again will play the audio of that interview back coming up during the first intermission. Wraparound attempt, and McBride quickly able to cover that up and make that save. Liam Miller, the one who attempted that wraparound under the chair of Scott Haycock. He's just trying to perhaps get a whistle, but it does come loose. Now it's Alex Pitts back at the point. Pitts, nice defensive play by Merkley to poke check that away and create an opportunity for Matthew Lamberson. Lamberson will dump it in. Now it's picked up by Philadelphia. It's Alex Pitts on his forehand. Pitts trying to make a move around the Ottawa players. Lamberson lost him. Now it's going to be Merkley against Pitts. Merkley trying to poke it away. Pitts able to maintain possession. Fires a shot. That one goes wide. Rebound opportunity. Miller, who will center it to Pitts. Joining the attack is going to be Lucas Hoban. We have a delayed penalty coming up against Ottawa. That's why he's up there on the attack. Another long shot from Pitts. Hits the arm of McBride. Still loose out in front and now blown dead. As we are going to get a Philly power play.
This might be either ramming or dangerous driving. Maybe ramming. That was a big collision.
Yeah, they're going to send Matthew Lamberson to the penalty box. So now Merkley's going to have an awfully tall task here. He's essentially going to be going 2-on-1 against both Liam Miller and Alex Pitts.
Well, Jake Saxton and Cameron will be back in 3 seconds.
So that'll help out a little bit. But it's still going to be tough to stop a Philly power play.
Especially with Jack Saxton now back.
Play whistle the red, dead by our senior official, Tim. Face-off won by Ottawa and deflected into the corner. It's Merkley. Merkley will bank it off the boards, not out, as Pitts gains control. Pitts takes a shot. That one goes wide and into the corner. Now it's Saxton trying to center it out in front. Didn't get all of that pass. Now an odd angle shot from Liam Miller goes into the corner. From the near side, it's Jake Saxton stick handling. Saxton, nice toe drag, centers it out to Alex Pitts, and they score. Fancy play there between Pitts and Saxton, and the power play have taken a 3-0 lead. That goal comes on the power play.
Very good play, good sequence there, able to find each other. Tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row for Philly.
Saxton and Pitts are so good at that passing game. No one's been able to find a way to really shut them down or even contain them. Toronto kind of did for about a period and a half yesterday, but then eventually Saxton and Pitts went off again, scoring a number of goals in their 7-4 win over the Rock. Bride able to stick that aside. Lamberson in the corner for the Ottawa Capitals. Two Philly players posting forward in the corner. Still trying to dig it out. Saxton comes away with possession. Saxton centers it into traffic. And it gets deflected onto the far side corner where it's picked up by the Ottawa Capitals. It's Lamberson. Lamberson finding some space. He gets hacked by Alex. Pitts play continues.
Looks like Lamberson going in again.
I think they might get a Philly player on that slash I was talking about just a moment ago.
Oh, it is.
Lamberson kind of got hacked on his way into the zone, and they're going to get Alex Pitts for slashing.
No, it's Saxton.
Saxton for slashing.
A little careless play by Philly here. I mean, this is probably the game you can get away with it here. But
yeah, but you still want to stay disciplined and not go in the box. And play will continue now as Philly has possession. It is an Ottawa Capitals power play, so this could be a good chance for them to work in a little offensive zone time, because pretty much the floor has been tilted to the left side. Philly having the vast majority of the possession so far. Short-handed, here's Alex Pitts. He's met by Scott Haycock. Solid defensive play there. And the defensive veteran. Pitts will work his way back around reverse direction. Now he's bothered by Blaine Cameron, and he'll just regroup in his own zone. Minute 23 to go on the Capitals power play. Pitts stick handling, good at the line. Now we'll have to back up. Well, if anything, this is good PK practice, just kind of wasting some time. You know, force those Ottawa players to steal it away from you. So far, they haven't. Blaine Cameron will give chase now to Alex Pitts. Look at the stick handling ability. Man, he is good. Now he'll leave it for Liam Miller. Here's Miller into the zone. Miller, a backhanded shot. Stopped by Haycock. Now between Merkley and Blaine Cameron, who wants it? Well, no one will get it as we get a whistle. At 40 seconds left on the Ottawa power play, as I believe we got a chair issue there with one of the Ottawa players.
Bring the old tool out.
How to bring the old tool out when that happens, yeah. Let's get us a little close-up view, yeah. Referee Tim trying to help out. Something on the back of Merkley's chair went wrong.
I think it just got deactivated.
Yeah.
That's happened a couple of times this tournament now. You'll be able to move now. You bump into it and it kind of pushes that, I believe, that lever down.
Yeah, it could. That very well could have been the case.
And you're kind of stuck there.
Well, back to live action. So a few more seconds left on that power play, although it's been Philly pretty much holding possession, and Alex Pitts really killing this one off. He's such a good stick handler, it's tough to steal it away from him. Blaine Cameron had a chance, but he's just tough to Such a crafty guy when he gets the ball on his hockey stick. Into the far side corner, dug at by a couple of Ottawa and Philadelphia players. 2:35 to go in the first period. We're 3-0 Philly on top of Ottawa. Saxton will rejoin the floor as Philly is now full strength. Here's Saxton taking a shot. Deflected rebound given up though by McBride. It's loose. I think it's under Haycock's chair. Still trying to dig it out from his chair. Comes loose. Picked up by Saxton. He'll spin. And he hold it in. He'll still maintain possession of it. Now get it over to Liam Miller. Miller attempts a shot, didn't get a lot on it. Now we'll go back to the wraparound. Send it to Alex Pitts in front. Trying to dig it out again. Caught under the chair of Scott Haycock. Now it comes free to Austin Merkley. An offensive opportunity for Ottawa. Takes a shot and deflected by the Philadelphia defense. Philly did have one scoring chance very early in this game within about the first 20 seconds. They had a chance to go up 1-0. Good stick work there from Scott Haycock and Talia McBride to deny Philadelphia on that last opportunity. Referee Tim says no goal. Play continues. Cameron circling around. Sends it to a dangerous area. Out near the crease. Now possession picked up by Jake Saxton in the near side corner.
That ball tightrope that line again.
Yeah. Ref had a good vantage point of it though and said no goal. Did not go in. And now the play is going to be whistled dead. As we have 1:05 to go in the first period. Philadelphia on top of Ottawa by a score of 3-0. I think we got more mechanical work to be done. Well, the chair was shut off, as you were just talking about. This time it was Saxton's chair who got shut off. Well, Ottawa's made Philadelphia work hard this period. That's kind of their MO this entire tournament.
Yeah.
Less than a minute to go. And that one pops up into the air and over the net. Behind the net, it's Jake Saxton looking for another rebound, and Talia McBride quickly there to make the save. Saxton might try to go the other way, and as you said, Mike, she's done a better job on those wraparounds rather than turning around. She's just backing up directly, and I think that's given her more success on stopping those wraparound opportunities. Here's Jake Saxton. And Blaine Cameron comes in at the last second to poke it away from the stick of Saxton.
Saxton
still
lost
loose
the
out
stick.
in front. Who wants it? It's Alex Pitts who comes away with it. Down to 16 seconds. It's Pitts stick handling. Left-hander on his forehand. Long shot. He scores. Alex Pitts gives Philadelphia a 4-0 lead over Ottawa.
Very close by Talia, making almost a nice save. She kind of flicked her stick back, almost trying to hit it out. That would have been impressive if she was able to connect on that, but good shot. Always picking the back end of the corner of the goalie is always a good shot.
That's usually the place to beat the goalies in power hockey. Right behind that chair, that's the toughest spot to stop. Captain Scott Haycock getting some instruction from the Ottawa bench. We're ready to go for the final 10.7 seconds. Jake Saxton off the draw. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, deflected by Pitts, and that's going to do it for period number 1. After one period, 4-0 Philadelphia on top of Ottawa. Stay tuned, we're going to have that audio from that interview featuring Talia McBride, the goaltender for the Ottawa Capitals, in just a moment. Welcome back to USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth. We're about ready to start the second period as Philadelphia leads the Ottawa Capitals by a score of 4-0. Just a moment ago, we were able to hear from Talia McBride, the goaltender for the Ottawa Capitals. Really solid goaltender, even though the stats don't show it because the team is a little short on experience. We're glad to hear from her. If she was on any of the powerhouse teams, they might be the favorite in this tournament, but good to get some thoughts from her. By the way, for Philly fans, we'll hopefully have a conversation with one of the Philadelphia players coming up at the end of this game. we'll be getting post-game interviews the rest of the way and maybe some pre-game interviews as well that will play back throughout the contest.
It looks like Aaron Gordon is in net now for Philly.
Yeah, giving her a chance to get some playing time. D'Amico was so good last night for Philadelphia in their victory over Toronto. For part of that game, it was actually Toronto who had the better of the play. And D'Amico really did a good job keeping them in it with a lot of point-blank saves. Just underway here in period number 2. Gathered up by Liam Miller, tries to send it over to Jake Saxton. He'll have it along the far side boards. Saxton spinning around, now looking for that wraparound. And McBride, wasn't going to get through to McBride as it's taken away by Blaine Cameron. Cameron, Saxton battling for it. Now in the corner, it's picked up by an Ottawa Capitals player.
It's kind of interesting. I noticed earlier you guys were talking about how we borrowed Roddy Harb's jersey. I was down there earlier just kind of hanging around, and you can't tell from up here, but they duct taped his number on his jersey.
That's solid. Funny story. I'll wait for this chance here from Jake Saxton trying to go back shoulder on Talia McBride. I coached an adaptive sports team in Minnesota myself with players similar to what you see out here. And we had a guy who forgot his jersey, so I ended up duct taping his number on the back of his shirt as well, similar to what they did here with Blaine Cameron for Ottawa. I think, Mike, you were part of that as well.
Yeah, I was actually the rival coach as a scorer here.
Put in by Jake Saxton. And Saxton helps give Philadelphia.
I think he came in his suit and tie, actually.
Yeah. Great kid named Walker Payne. Yeah, he's on the autism spectrum, but a great kid. Actually, a really good pitcher in adaptive softball, too. But yeah, he was in the same situation as Blaine Cameron. Forgot his jersey, so we had to put someone else's on him. Use the old duct tape the number, and it works. Just got to look at that replay. Saxton just sitting there right on the doorstep, waiting for that rebound, able to hit it home, give Philly a 5-0 lead. Saxton really good at being in the proper position, as are Alex Pitts and Liam Miller. Miller's clearing attempt, or centering attempt, I should say, was blocked by Blaine Cameron.
Interesting, they're still going with their main power 3 as forwards here.
It's still 5-0. You could probably leave them in a little bit later on. McBride makes a nice save. He's definitely gotten better at those wraparounds. She gave up some of those in the early morning game against the Minnesota Saints. Chad Wilson was able to get a couple by her, but I think the coaches have made some adjustments on how to guard those wraparounds, and she's been solid, slamming the door on any of those attempts. Face-off won by the power play. Saxton being bothered by Austin Merkley. Miller comes away with it. Miller lifts a shot, and it scores. McBride had a piece of it. I think it actually rolled off her back and then into the net. Tough break for her as Philly takes a 6-0 lead. She was in perfect position and made the save. Just an unfortunate break there as the ball rolled off her back and into the back of the net.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough break. You know, that's hard to handle, and unfortunately it went in.
So off the face-off now, won by Ottawa. Blaine Cameron will have possession for the Capitals. Cameron will send that across. Pass intercepted by Saxton. Saxton works his way in. There's Merkley. Merkley, a long shot. Sent aside by the Philadelphia defenseman. Cameron whiffs on a chance to keep it in. Now they'll lift it over to Miller. This bounces over his stick, though. He's met by Scott Haycock. That will allow Ottawa to get possession. Long shot from Matthew Lamberson goes wide. Now into the corner. The Power play have possession. Here's Saxton. Saxton into the zone, toe drags. Now into the slot, still trying to work his way around Haycock now. Around, and he wraps it in and scores. Mike, I'm going to ask you to take play-by-play for 1 second.
Okay.
I have a work thing that I got to call right now.
Sounds good. Here they go as they scored here.
No, and certainly, again, we talked about Saxton a lot. You know, a lot of people that you could make a claim as the best player at this tournament. We've talked about Wilson. We've talked about Kevin Confara from Michigan. But Jake Saxton certainly one of those guys who has really staked his claim as possibly being the best player in the sport.
Definitely a solid player, and yes, he definitely gets his goal scored, but lots of help from his teammates here as the ball goes down here. The Philly end, and Liam Miller picks it up. And he will circle around, finding some space here, looking for some space. And he will drive it up, finding a good angle there to take it down. He'll take a shot on Talia, and it'll be under, almost crossed, so good stop by Talia. Candace tried to sneak one through, so good shot by Liam Miller here.
So that big three of Philadelphia just certainly continuing to exert their will throughout this week.
Definitely, we got Bryce Smith out there now for Philly, along with Saxton and Miller. Ottawa sends out, I believe, Lamberson. Merkley trying to fight for it. Saxton comes out, circles, changes directions here, goes around, fires a floater, stopped by McBride. Lamberson cuts it off, takes it down, shoots it down, chased by Miller though. Miller picks it up, and he will go around his own net. And he will bring it up to, still pinched in the zone here. Good job by Ottawa to pinch him in the zone there.
Hey, Mike, thanks for helping out there. Getting the day job calling me during the broadcast. A little bit of an on-air emergency at the radio station. Hey, we're back, though. Thanks for filling in. This is Alex Pitt. She make that
No,
Jake
Jake
Saxton.
See.
I'm all flustered now. I should have let you run with it. Here's Saxton. Lifts a shot, looking for Liam Miller on the back door, and he scores. What a fancy play there. I thought Miller initially fanned on that, but I think they actually ran that play just the way they wanted to, as it's now Philadelphia taking an 8-0 lead. 9:26 to go in the second period. And we're going to see the bench start to empty out for both teams. A couple new players have entered. For Ottawa, we'll see Malachi Lamberson enter the game. Philly also has a different forward play. There's Alex Pitts has left. We're going to see Bryce Smith join the attack for the power play.
Glad you're going back to play-by-play. I can go back and eat my pizza. Oh, wait, actually, Jake Saxton scores here, and I guess I can't eat my pizza.
You can't eat your pizza there.
No.
Saxton picks up the goal, makes it 9-0 Philadelphia. Well, they're so tough to stop offensively.
The pizza by play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's still, it's PBP. Is it play-by-play? You got it.
That's right, Lori Jenkins. I kind of looked away too, trying to eat my pizza, and they score again. So
I got people texting me here. That's how quick Philadelphia scores. You get no time to rest.
no.
You got to tell Saxton and Pitts and Miller, slow down on your scoring.
Trying to eat my pizza here.
That's right. Here's Jake Saxton toe dragging. Look at the stick handling there, and it's like he just has a ball on a string. You reach in and try to take it away, and he just pulls it back.
It's like a yo-yo.
Kind of is, isn't it? McBride swats it. It was going wide anyways. Now Liam Miller has possession. Oh, look at the flip pass over the net. That's kind of dangerous, though. I don't think you're going to want to try that against some of the teams with high-powered offenses, as that can very easily be a turnover going the other way. Knocked away by Talia McBride. Now Lamberson has it for the Ottawa Capitals.
Scoreboard doesn't say, but she's, all the shots have been on her. She stopped a lot of them.
There's Jake Saxton, stick handling near his own goal, and I think we're going to get a call for skating through the crease, possibly on Saxton.
Saxton,
a little too fancy there from Jake Saxton, yeah.
That's his third penalty this game. He's usually a lot more disciplined.
I was going to say, if we're going to get those penalties, they got to be those enforcer-type penalties.
Yeah. He's trying to plead to Tim there about his case.
Now,
Tim is listening, but he's probably like, you know what, though, you're going to go to the box.
I think you appreciate that with officials as well, if you can at least talk to them.
Yeah.
I've run into officials before. You try to talk to them, they look the other way, or the second you talk to them, they call you for a penalty. That always irritated me.
Yeah.
If you have an official that's just being respectful, they'll let you hear your case to a point.
To a point.
Make your case. Granted, you'll probably never win the argument.
No.
I mean, I've never run into the situation where I've been called for a penalty, then I went to the official and said, that shouldn't have been a penalty, and then the ref says, oh, you're right. Okay.
That's true. I've run into that too. Or in our league, sometimes as a coach, I run into the question from the referee, did I make the right call there?
Yeah.
You never want that.
What do you think the answer is going to be?
Yeah.
Going back to the penalty, though, again, they got Jake Saxton for driving in the crease. As he was trying to kind of do the coast-to-coast thing, but on the way, unfortunately for him doing that, he happened to just kind of clip the crease area.
Although my question is that, obviously being that I don't watch, this is my first experience with power hockey. He drove through his own crease. Why is that a penalty?
I think they just kind of want to avoid collisions with goaltenders since they're typically level 3, sometimes level 2 players.
Okay, that would make sense.
That's at least my best guess, but someone in the Facebook chat can probably give us a better explanation.
Or you don't want to really stack your entire whole chairs into the crease.
That's a good, I suppose in theory, yeah, you could
do that.
Not even try to score, just put, you go up 1-0 and then you just park 5 chairs in your crease. I wonder if a team tried that at one point in the early days of power hockey and then they had to adapt the rules. You score a goal, go up, oh, there's a shot, hits the side of the net from, focus on the action here is actually Ottawa created a good scoring chance. Bryce Smith will stick handle in the corner, he's chased down by Lamberson.
We got a question from Jessica Grono. I noticed they aren't penalizing goalies for moving the net. Is that okay now?
Well, we had an interesting debate in the last game where, I'm going to whistle in the meantime, though. Yeah, in the last game, a very close one. It was 2-0 Michigan, or 2-0 Toronto over Michigan at one point. Michigan thought they had scored a goal, but the net was moved by the Toronto goaltender. The referee waved it off, so in theory, in theory, goalies should not be allowed to move the nets. But we've seen it kind of called both ways. I think they let you move it to a point.
Yeah.
But if you move it way out of the way, they will blow it dead. But
they've been very lenient on that rule this year.
Technically, if you move it on purpose, it should be a delay of game and a penalty shot. But we didn't see that called in the last game. Here's Toronto trying to work with it. Now taken away by Liam Miller. Here comes Miller short-handed. Well, now Philly is full strength as Saxton comes back onto the floor. And Liam Miller scores a goal and makes it 10-0 Philly.
Very exciting call there, Brett.
Just kind of worked his way into the zone. Mike's all choked up after that goal.
I am crying. So sad. It was a beautiful goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's nonchalant because these guys are so, I called it nonchalant because these guys have done it so many times. Liam Miller, just a easy coast-to-coast goal. Not a lot McBride could do there if you're essentially having to face a guy like Liam Miller with no defensive help outside of the, of course, the defender in front of you. Talking more about defensive help from your forwards.
Looks like Leah Donahue is in for Philly, as well as Bryce Smith and Liam Miller now.
Yeah, a lot of new faces checking into the game for Philly. Here's Lamberson. Matthew Lamberson with an opening, elects to pass it off, but that one's deflected by Bryce Smith. And here's Liam Miller. Behind his net, bothered by Lamberson. He'll spin around into the corner.
Probably going to butcher this name for Ottawa, but it's Robin Gilloette is in.
Patrick has the phonetic pronunciations on the sheet, but I don't know where he has those written down, or maybe he memorized them all last night.
I was just checking out the PDF that I got sent. I think it's Gio is how you.
Yeah, I think you're right too. Yeah, because it's not how it would sound on the sheet. I think it is Gio. Here's Liam Miller into the offensive zone. Miller, I think, trying to go across to either Bryce Smith or the other attacker, but now it's instead Ottawa coming the other way. Here's Lamberson. Lamberson takes a shot. Low line drive shot goes wide. He'll pick up his own attempt, though, and it's going to be blown dead. 4:48 to go in the second period. We're 10-0 Philly over Ottawa. Got two exciting games on tap after this one. We've got Toronto facing Minnesota up next, and that one to me is a really interesting game because Toronto came away with a very impressive 5-2 victory over Michigan. Meanwhile, Minnesota, we're thinking, may have found a good combination with some of their veterans on the floor, and their 6-2 win over Ottawa. It'll be interesting to see if Minnesota has indeed righted their ship when they play that very tough Toronto team up next.
Well, they just came off a very, very hot win there, Toronto. So it's going to be, I hate to say it for Minnesota, it's going to be a very uphill battle now.
It is. I mean, even if they don't win, though, we're going to get a look to see if they found a good combination that can get things on the right track, because Minnesota was blown out twice yesterday, which surprised a lot of people. Here's Ottawa with it. They try an outlet pass. It's the back of the chair of Merkley. Now it's taken over by Liam Miller. I believe it's for Bryce Smith. Deflected away by Lamberson. Now Miller will have to gather it back up in his own zone. 4:06 to go in period number 2. Liam Miller stick handling on the right wing side. Miller on his backhand. Miller will now stick handle behind his net. Met by Haycock. Circling around. Is that Aaron Gordon we have up at forward for Philadelphia?
No. Aaron Gordon is in net.
Yeah, she's in net right now. It's tough to see some of these numbers sometimes. Now Lamberson with an opportunity, and he sends it just wide.
That's
Leah Donahue, I believe,
Donahue
entered the game for Philly up there. She's the third attacker along with Smith and Liam Miller. Yeah, Gordon in net right now. Again, she's at times been a primary goalie for Philly along with Anthony D'Amico. It's been a little bit of both sometimes, and at least in the past 3 North American Cups we've covered. But D'Amico has really taken over as the hot hand. He's primarily going to be the guy the power play are probably going to rely on when they face some tough competition. But Gordon certainly gives them a good option as well. Circling is Lamberson, trying to center it. Lamberson not able to dig through a lot of traffic. Now it's Bryce Smith on the far side corner. Trying to dig it out. Still fishing for that ball.
Robin's right out front.
One of those hockey scrums in the corner. Who can come away with it? Matthew Lamberson, Bryce Smith in quite a battle for the ball. Liam Miller's going to join the fray.
That's it, Mal. You stay with it.
Lamberson will send it up top to his teammate. Taken away by Liam Miller. He gets tied up momentarily. That slows him down enough to allow some defensive help. Now it's stuck again. 2 minutes to go in the second period. Backhanded attempt and stopped by Gordon. Lamberson now with it. And trying to dig for it. Seems like the ball's just stuck along those boards down there. No one can just get it out of that area. Kind of a magnet down in that area for that ball. Donahue trying to help out along with Bryce Smith. Smith will carry it around the net. Bryce Smith has done a nice job, I think, as kind of that first guy off the bench as a forward. I remember back in the 2016 championship when Philly was down at the end, they brought him in as an extra attacker, and he did a nice job setting some picks along with Philly's big three.
Yeah, he does. He does a good job of coming off that bench as that support guy if they need him. And yeah, here's Lamberson.
Yeah, Lamberson, maybe the best chance here for Ottawa. And a solid defensive play there made by Philadelphia. Cutting it off and not even letting that shot get through to Gordon. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Lamberson trying to hold it in.
That's it, Robin. Keep fighting. That's it, Mal.
Loose under that chair if anyone can get to it.
He's got him.
They're trying to dig for it. It's under someone down there. We got about 6 chairs. I don't know whose chair it's under. Now it finally comes free. Bryce Smith and Lamberson. Those two guys have been battling it out through the latter minutes of this second period. Ball deflects off of Liam Miller's wheelchair. Now picked up by Bryce Smith. 7 seconds to go. 6-5. I think they'll just dribble around and try to end the second period. That is how it will end, with Philadelphia on top of Ottawa by a score of 10-0. They'll be back in about 3 minutes. Welcome back to USA Hockey Arena as we're ready to start the third period. 10-0 Philadelphia on top of Ottawa. Bryce Smith, Leah Donahue, and we have another new face up at forward joining the attack for the power play. Can't quite get the number there. Smith will be playing center for Philly, though. Help me out with a guy playing left wing for Philly. I'm trying to get his number. Is it Sean Hesser, I believe, might be in the game.
I believe that is Hesser.
Blaine Cameron takes a shot, gets run in too hard by the Philly defenseman, and I think he might be a little shaken up on that play.
Oh, he went down.
Yeah.
Cameron.
Yeah, it was a hard collision there with the Philly defenseman, and I think he just got a little shaken up there. Looks like he's okay, though. Kind of like bumper cars sometimes. If you run into someone pretty hard, it can kind of shake you up.
Too, and he looks like he's very he's balanced up top but not very below, so if his waist goes below, it's going to be tough to get up.
Yeah. Sure, it's not the first time he's had a collision either.
No.
He's a veteran of power hockey.
He is.
I'm sure Roddy in practice has run into him more than once.
Yeah, I'd say take that, Grandpa.
All right, face off to the right of Aaron Gordon, who's been primarily playing in goal for the power play during this game.
Oh, by the way, I looked up Tim's name. Its last name is Coleman.
Tim Coleman, okay. I thought I heard that somewhere. Yeah, very good official. Knows the rules inside and out. If he's not the senior official, I'm giving him that name. Leah Donahue as well as Lamberson battling for the ball. It'll trickle into the Ottawa zone. Now still out at center. Light shot blocked by the Philly defenseman. Smith, Donahue out there for Philly. Lamberson trying to dig it out, that loose ball. Blaine Cameron finds his teammate, Lamberson. Matthew Lamberson trying to stick handle his way through traffic. Lamberson can't pull the trigger. Now it's going to be number 81, Matthew Lamberson with it. I think we got Malachi Lamberson also out there as well for Philadelphia, or for Ottawa, both of them joining out there. This is Malachi Lamberson. Sends it over to Blaine Cameron. I think a good passing game going.
Oh, nice
And
stop.
deflected by Hesser. Getting into that passing lane and causing a turnover. Stuck under his chair, dug out by Cameron. Cameron will push it up ahead for one of the Lambersons. Deflected into the corner. Donahue elected not to give chase. Instead, it'll be Bryce Smith battling for it. Donahue now joins the fray. Picked up by Blaine Cameron. Tried to center it, but it hit the back of Aaron Gordon's chair. Good idea there by Cameron, trying to feed whoever was up there at the point. Digging forward along the far side boards. Now trickles into the corner. Picked up by Cameron. Cameron leaves it for Malachi Lamberson. Point blank shot and a save made by Aaron Gordon. Another good chance for Ottawa. Malachi Lamberson trying to dig it out. Matthew Lamberson also in there, now joined by Blaine Cameron. Here's Cameron trying to work around the defense. He's got a ton of chairs to try to work around to throw anything at the net.
A lot of people there.
For it. Yeah, there's a traffic jam by the Philadelphia net. Don't know how you can get anything through that. Turning around is Lamberson. It will be deflected out of play.
I think he was trying to get to Cameron there, but yeah, deflected out.
Philly's high-powered offensive players are off the floor right now, but these new players, even though they don't have a ton of offensive skill, are doing a nice job clogging up these passing lanes and making life difficult for the Ottawa offense. Face off one by Cameron. Give and go as it's back to Cameron on his backhand. Can't find any space. He'll instead center it. Thrown towards the net. Trying to hit it away is Smith. He'll pick it up.
Seth Bartel got a shot from the Capitals on that. Nice save by Gordon, though.
And Bartel enters the game. Bartel gave us some help doing some broadcasting back in 2016. Called a game or two for us. Weaving his way is Matthew Lamberson into the zone. Met by Bryce Smith. He'll stop, turn, go to his forehand, and reach a whole bunch of Philadelphia traffic out in front. Power play players are doing a good job on defense. Like I said, not a ton of offensive skill out there, but they know where to go to play defense. And heard a collision somewhere. I think we're going to get a penalty or just a stoppage of play with that net moving. And we'll just have a face-off in the Philadelphia zone. One by Cameron, another new player into the game. That's Bobby Guillou. Was it Guillou, the pronunciation, yeah. Patrick? Yeah.
Guillou.
Guillou, okay. Guillou has re-entered the game. He was briefly in for a couple of moments back in the second period. Digging forward are the Ottawa players. I think it might be under the chair of Aaron Gordon. Now it comes free, and it's Bryce Smith. Lost it under his own chair. Couldn't quite keep his stick handle. Now Hesser over shot it, picked up by Blaine Cameron. Cameron to his forehand will look for Bartel. Shot from Ottawa blocked. Getting it back is Guillou. Guillou trying to dig it out from one of the Philadelphia defensive chairs. It's stuck under Smith's chair. Cameron trying to gain possession. Under 10 minutes to go in the third period. We're 10-0 in favor of the Philly power play. Cameron lost it. Here is Bryce Smith. Met by an Ottawa player. Smith trying to create some offense for Philadelphia here in this third period, but it's taken away. And Cameron will regroup from behind his own net.
We have a question from Megan Thorne. From Ben Thorne. Have the refs decided that they would like to be more firm on goalies moving the net? But again, we just had this question. Again, it hasn't been called very much this tournament.
Yeah, sometimes generally if the goalies move the net just a little bit, they let play continue. But if they move it a lot, they do whistle it dead. But we haven't had that delay of game call, which is when the goalie moves the net on purpose to deny a scoring chance. We had a possible delay of game call against a goalie for Toronto versus Michigan. They elected not to make that penalty call. That's about the closest we've had to any penalty on a goaltender for doing that.
Yeah, not much this game, blatantly.
No, really no blatant goal moving, but that could be an interesting question for Tim Coleman on how they elect when to blow a whistle when the net is moved.
We could maybe get an interview quickly with him.
Yeah, we could maybe ask that question since we've had some frequent questions regarding that. I'm sure some Michigan fans would like to get an explanation on that. Michigan losing a tough game to Ottawa, 5-2, or to Toronto, I should say, 5-2. Got my Canadian teams mixed up. And they score. Ottawa finally gets on the scoreboard.
Yeah, my boy Seth Bartel with the goal.
Seth Bartel, a little bit of a favorite on our team.
Yeah.
Or I should say on our broadcast team since he joined us last year.
Very proud for him getting the goal here. Young kid works very hard. Got that goose egg off. You know, Michigan really worked hard to get their goose egg off earlier.
Yeah. And they worked hard to get that, but they make it 10-1.
9 more goals to go.
Cameron got the assist, the other fan favorite.
Yep. Old man Harb.
You got to feel good for Ottawa, though, getting that goal. They had worked so hard in that third period, the first half of the third period, to try to get on the score sheet, dominating the time of possession. They get rewarded with a goal. And here's Bryce Smith trying to get a response for Philadelphia.
I think we got another question from Ben Thorne here. He said, who, in your opinion, across the entire tournament has been the best defensive players?
Ooh, defenseman, that's tough to say. I would say there's another opportunity swatting at it is Lamberson. Had a couple of swats at it, but denied by Philadelphia. I have a good answer once we get a stoppage in the action. It's still loose under someone's chair down there. And now it trickles into the corner. I go Megan Hines of Toronto.
Megan Hines is very solid, definitely.
Hoban's pretty good for Philly as well.
Hoban's very good. And then if you're talking goalies, D'Amico's had a very, very solid games, last few games here.
And Michigan, of course, has the birthday boy, Dino Livas.
I'd throw in Katie Frere from Michigan in this discussion as well.
Yeah.
Defense, especially for defense, Frere's been very solid.
Even going to Ottawa here, Haycock's been very good as well, along, of course, with their goalie, Talia McBride. A lot of good players out there defensively. One guy who could join that conversation, which we'll see in the next game if it pans out, is if Minnesota sticks with their new strategy of kind of having Nathan Ritter back on defense. That could be a real wild card since he would give them a lot of speed on their defense.
Definitely. Another defensive guy that kind of helps offensively too is Mike Martins from Toronto.
Look at you listing off the names.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Aycock joins the attack for Toronto. We just mentioned him as a defenseman. Now we get to see him play a little offense for the Capitals. Reminder, Toronto plays Minnesota coming up next. That's one I'm very interested to see if Minnesota has really righted the ship or if their victory over Ottawa this morning was more of an aberration. Saints did some good things in that victory against Ottawa, but as you said, Mike, they're going to have their hands full against Toronto, but we'll see if they've maybe gotten things straightened out and are back in the title picture.
Definitely. This tournament right now is still very much up in the air.
Yeah, if anything, I'd say Philly has maybe emerged as a slight favorite since they're the only undefeated. Well, here's a chance for Matthew Lamberson, stick handling. Now one more to beat and denied by Aaron Gordon. Now Bryce Smith will try to clear it away to safety.
Yep. They're going to have a tough task, though, in Michigan, and Michigan is probably going to be a little ticked off from earlier.
I'm guessing Michigan's going to come out with more energy, too, because in about the first period and a half of their game against Toronto, they really came out flat and very disorganized. They showed some energy in the third period, but I think Toronto kind of caught them flat-footed early in that game. Bryce Smith has it in the corner for the Philly power play. Just over 4 minutes to go in regulation. 10-1, Philadelphia has the lead over Ottawa. We'll have a player of the game interview coming up after this one. We'll speak to someone from the Philadelphia power play. Earlier we spoke with Ottawa goalie Talia McBride. We had audio of that interview that we played during the first intermission, so you can go back and listen to that if you happen to miss it. Mike was asking the hard-hitting questions. He's the Anderson Cooper of our broadcasts.
What? Anderson Cooper?
You don't want to be the... Just trying to think of a respected journalist out there. The Bryant Gumbel of broadcasting, maybe?
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves here.
Okay, all right. Well, Mike York, a.k.a. Bryant Gumbel, will be speaking with the player of the game for Philadelphia coming up during the postgame.
I want to be Stephen A. Smith.
Okay. I don't think anyone wants to hear Stephen A. Smith. Decision's going to have to be, who are we going to interview for Philadelphia? We switch it up and go with someone outside of the big three, or?
Yeah, I like D'Amico or
Aaron Gordon. Bryce Smith has played a ton in this game. We could talk to Bryce as well.
Yeah, Bryce has had his fair share today.
Facebook has those poll things, but I think it's a little bit late to do a Facebook poll. We could have all the Philly fans vote on who we should talk to as the player of the game.
In the comments right now.
There you go. We can do an unofficial poll that way. Let us know who you want Mike to talk to in the postgame. In the meantime, here's a chance for Philadelphia save made by Aaron Gordon.
And we'll count him up.
It'll be a very scientific poll.
Science.
Ottawa still continuing to put on some pressure. They worked hard here in this third period. Got rewarded for a goal about midway through. Now looking to get on a score sheet again.
Got one for Aaron. D'Amico. Someone said D'Amico. Twice does not count, I'm sorry. We're only going to do that once. Luke Hoban.
Someone just keeps repeatedly typing the same name. Yeah, it's not the vote early, vote often strategy.
The one I was laughing at.
Oh, hold on. Here's a scoring chance for Ottawa. Loose under Gordon's chair.
You got to make a decision there, Greg. D'Amico or Aaron. You said Aaron before. I need a definitive answer out of you. They say either goalie.
I thought that was
definitive answers, please.
Malachi Lamberson has it for Ottawa, working way to the point. Backhander saved by Gordon. Gordon's come up with some nice saves in this third period. I think Aaron could be making a case.
Well, what I was laughing at was we got to vote against you being Stephen A. Smith in the postgame.
I agree,
Mike.
I'm not going to be Stephen A.
I second that vote as well. Here's Lamberson.
All right, we're going with lots of D'Amicos.
Also got a question from Ben Thorne, question from Jeff Barrett, who has been the best offensive player at this tournament.
Oh, boy. Nasib Oko, maybe?
Oko and Saxon right now, I think.
Oh, I forgot all about the Philly players. Yeah, I probably got to go Saxon on that. Ogo was almost better today as a defenseman than he was as an offensive force. He completely shut down one of the best players in the world in Kevin Confara of Michigan. But yeah, Saxton certainly among their best offensive players, as is Pitts. Just under a minute to go. Lamberson, light shot turned away by Aaron Gordon.
I think I'm going to go with D'Amico, looks like, pretty much. So our next question is, save your questions, and maybe I'll say a question from you guys to D'Amico.
Very good. 26 seconds to go. Battling for it just by the scoreboard. Coming up, we got Toronto facing Minnesota. Interesting game coming up. That'll be at 5 o'clock Eastern, so about 50 minutes from now. That's 5-0. A little bit of a break before we have the Rock square off against the Saints. Final 5 seconds. Ottawa looking for one final opportunity. At the goal, Gordon has it under her chair, and that's going to be the end, as it will be Philadelphia coming away with a 10-1 victory over Ottawa as they continue their undefeated march and now are alone in first place atop the 2018 Power Hockey Cup standings. Stay tuned to give us about 2 or 3 minutes. Mike and I will go down and talk with one of the Philadelphia players,
which is Anthony D'Amico. And if you have questions, start sending them. I'll maybe read a couple off to him, and we'll see what happens.
All right, we'll be back in just a couple moments. Good.
Mike York here with...
Is the mic on?
Anyway, yes, the mic is on, Brett. Okay. Mike York here with Aaron Gordon and Anthony D'Amico, the two goalies for the power play. You guys had a solid game right now today. Guys didn't see a whole lot of shots today, but tell me, what was your guys' game plan going in? We'll start with Aaron first.
So the game plan going in is just watch the high long shots, and then if they get it in and down close, clear it out of the crease. That's about it.
The coaches basically said that they knew how we were going to play this game. We knew the forwards were going to attack, so just bail them out if they make a mistake, help out our team. We tried to help them out best we can. We did pretty good. Team win for sure.
Definitely, you guys have a little bit tougher challenge next coming up with Michigan. Any game plans for you guys to see? I know Kevin Confaro is a very good player. Tristan Parent, they have very good high-scoring athletes out there, and they. You saw them play Toronto earlier, and they stifled their offenses. Are you going to take some game play from Toronto on them as well as they did there too?
Actually not sure what pointers we'll be taking from the other games, but they communicated with us very well, and how we're supposed to attack the game. I think the biggest thing is we know these shooters. We've played them a lot, so we'll be on our game, but we're confident that we're not Swiss cheese.
And, I'm not too sure what the coaches have in store, but any team like Toronto that can shut down Kevin, their big power forward, it's definitely we take notes and try and pick up anything we can to help it.
All right, a couple of questions here from the fans here. Basically, what does play for Pat mean? I see you have that on your jerseys, and what does that mean to you guys?
Okay. Play for Pat and Pete is in honor of the two players that our organization lost in the last year and a half. Pat Hilferty was the heart and soul of our program. He was the founder and manager for years. And Pete Henkel was a very likable, charming young gentleman who passed away, and he was only a teenager. So it's really been a hard hit to our organization, losing those two players. So we are taking that as our motivation to really get out there and play and come home with the cup.
Any personal stories from both those guys for you, Anthony?
I grew up with Liam, and we went to an MDA camp where I actually met Pete, and ever since, me and him we were inseparable pretty much. We said earlier in the opening ceremonies that he was our smile, and he really was. He made everyone happy, and he just made us all feel as a team together. We try and carry that with us throughout the tournament.
Well, I'm Mike York again here with Anthony D'Amico and Aaron Gordon. They're going to continue to play for Pat and Pete, and we'll watch them on and continue in our tournament.